Item E.
Administrative contract changes. At that joint board meeting, I was asked to look at the administration, make a recommendation for reduction of staff. And in this comment, I say to you that I cannot do that. If you decide to make changes in administrative positions or numbers of administrators, that will be your decision to make, because I can't make that recommendation. And just so that you remember where we're at with things, last year a full-time principal was reduced. This year already you've approved reducing the curriculum director from half-time to quarter-time. The dean of students position, which was not administrative but administrative-like in nature, will be disappearing as that person will be placed back into the classroom. And so when we look at administrative positions, the comment had been made that we cut 10% of the teachers, cut 10% of administration. In 2 years, that reduces the administration from 7 full-time equivalent positions to 5.25, which is a 25% reduction. I do recommend 1 week furloughs for the principals. Wallingford Auburn approved that last night, but technically what they approved was the principal that was on their contract, which would be the high school principal. SAC holds a contract for middle school and elementary principals. And my recommendation continues that there be a 1 week furlough for the principals, and what that would mean would be 1 week less pay, 5 days less pay on that contract for next year. But no, my recommendation is no additional cuts to administrative staff. At the meeting last night, John Smith made the motion to move for the furloughs, but he also asked in his motion, it stated that we would look at further cuts to administration for the 2010-11 school year, and his suggestion was 2 principals instead of 3, 1 being both elementary buildings and middle school. And I really disagree with that. I think that if we're looking at the things we'd like to have happen in our school, our principals are not of the old model called managers, but they are instructional leaders, and we will not see what we want to have happen with student achievement if we take a school district of about 980 kids by the time we take open enrollment in. So roughly 1,000 students and have 2 principals. I think part of that plan by John was for me to assume some principal responsibility, and I'm not opposed to that, but I'm also your superintendent for a 2A school. So my recommendation continues to be 1 week furlough for the 2 principals that are on SAC contracts. And know that there'll be a week furlough already has been approved for the high school principal.
The thing that we're going to get asked, how much money is being spent for administration totally? Do you have a clue what that might be?
Well, you've got a shared document in here.
Because we get compared against other schools, and I don't know how to answer
But
that.
included in that number is the full-time technology coordinator, a quarter-time or a half-time technology or a half-time curriculum director.
The thing that I looked at when I went through this business is I looked at the athletic directorship. How much time is the athletic director going to have to do his job when he is now in PE?
Half-time, what he currently has now. Yep, that's what he currently has now. He's half-time dean of students and half-time AD, and he'll be half-time classroom teacher, half-time AD.
So a full-time position in physical education is going to be taken up by 1/4 of another person's position and half of his position.
By 1/4 of another.
Because you're taking a 1/4 of the curriculum director, am I right?
No, she's not going to be teaching PE, but this is all about reassignment, and I really, until we finish our grievances, I can't even share that all with you, but the full-time PE position is going to be filled by a full-time PE equivalent.
Okay. Well, I know the demands of that position that I'm concerned with.
So what are we approving, just to
What I
continue the
recommend-
contracts? We are, because we don't know any salaries or anything else.
No, it's a furlough. So it would be that whatever their contracts for next year are,
So we're just approving a furlough.
a furlough, 1 week furlough for each of those principals, whatever their contracts are for next year, once we finish negotiations or whatever you decide to do with salaries, that it's 1 week less work, 1 week less pay. is what I'm recommending.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve week of furlough for the principals. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Opposed, excuse me, motion carried.